It's the NFL on CBS. The Browns at the Jets in the long-awaited season opener. Cleveland coach Mike Pettine is trying to spoil the debut of the Jets' Todd Bowles. Today's game being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. Kickoff is next. Back at MetLife Stadium, it is a beautiful day here in the New York area. 78 degrees and the sun is shining. Also shining for us down on the sideline is Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Well, Todd Bowles may be new to the Jets sideline as their head coach, but this is familiar territory for him. A native of Elizabeth, New Jersey, just 15 miles away from the stadium. Bowles also had a reputation that preceded him. Jets quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick called Carson Palmer, Cardinals quarterback, who overlapped with Bowles the last 2 seasons in Arizona. Palmer told him this is the kind of coach that does not demand respect. He commands it just by his presence. We heard that a lot from several Jets players this week, including Brandon Marshall, who also shared he felt like Bowles is a mix between Bill Parcells and Lovie Smith.
Jamie, thank you. That's quite the mix, isn't it?
That's pretty good, and we just saw the Jets are going to get the ball here first.
The Browns won the toss, and they will defer. And what did Mike Pettine say? Mike Pettine said that there's no way ever that he's ever going to win the toss and not take the ball in the second half.
You know, it's interesting when you talk to the defensive-minded head coaches, that tends to be their philosophy, but it has a little bit more family history with him, so it was good to see that come out of him in the meeting last night.
So the Jets will get to show off what they have on offense first. Our referee today is Jerome Boger. And the Cleveland Browns. How do you like the Browns unis this year?
You know, it's maybe a little bit brighter orange than what I would like, but I like the changes with the jersey. I like the stripes up top. I think that looks good. But yeah, they tend to go a little brighter than what I would.
That is a lot of orange out there. A lot of orange. That's Travis Coons.
You know what that's setting up, don't you? That's at some point in time this season they're going to go all orange.
Sure. And we'll all go blind. In his first year out of Washington, deep is Chris Owusu, number 17 in his 4th season out of Stanford. And the Jets fans, from the time we walked in here, Jets were all fired up.
They were fired up in the stadium, but even in the parking lot, driving in here, everybody got here early. Beautiful day here in New York, and everybody wanted to get out early, do some tailgating, and they're fired up. You can hear them in the background with their Jets chants going already.
Here we go. Coons to kick it away. And for these two teams, 2015 is underway, and this will sail into the end zone for the touchback, and the Jets will start from their own 20-yard line. And that means quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's been around St. Louis, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Tennessee, and Houston, where last year he threw for 17 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Well, he had a great completion percentage when he was down in Houston, but this is a little bit more familiar territory with him because of that background with Chan Gailey and what he likes to do from a protection standpoint, the way he likes to throw the football around the field. I think this is a good fit, and Jet fans are going to be happy with this.
Chris Ivory in the backfield. And on first down, it is Ivory. And Ivory looking to break it to the outside. Crosses the line of scrimmage and is out of bounds for a pickup of about 3 on the play. Joe Hayden forcing him out right in the middle of a veteran offensive line is 6-time Pro Bowl center Nick Mangold in his 10th year from Ohio State. And a lot of eyes and a lot of New York hopes riding on wide receiver Brandon Marshall, who teams with Eric Decker to cause more than a little concern for opposing cornerbacks. Ivory again lined up behind Fitzpatrick on 2nd and 7. Again. Out to about the 27 or maybe the 26. It looks like it'll be 3rd and 4. Craig Robertson, Dante Whitner coming up to make the tackle. The Browns 3-4 defense and a rookie in the middle of the D-line there. First round pick Danny Shelton, the 12th overall player selected out of Washington. The linebackers, Solomon, Dansby, Kirksey, and Paul Kruger. He had 11 to lead the team last year, 11 sacks, and a tough secondary that has Pro Bowl performers across the board. Joe Hayden on one side and the veteran Tramon Williams holding down the other. Bilal Powell into the Jets backfield on third down. Fitzpatrick with time, throwing over the middle. He's got his man across the 45 and out to midfield. Eric Decker for a first down.
So much attention this offseason was brought to the acquisition of Brandon Marshall coming in. People forget that Eric Decker led this team in receiving a year ago, receiving yards and receptions. Good clear out the middle of the field. Decker coming over from left to right. Fitzpatrick with an accurate throw.
22-yard pickup and a first down, a yard shy of midfield. This is Ivory. And Ivory, maybe a yard, maybe not. Randy Starks, the former Miami Dolphin, making that tackle.
Well, and that's one of the new additions for the Cleveland Browns. You mentioned drafting first-round pick Danny Shelton out of Washington to anchor the middle, but Randy Starks coming over as another addition to that defensive line. This is a Cleveland defense that was last in the National Football League in stopping the run a year ago. You can see 3 of the first 4 plays for the Jets have been rushing attempts.
Fitzpatrick and a quick slant. That's complete to Chris Owusu. And a pickup of maybe 5 on the play. Looks like 3rd and 5.
Well, Owusu is a young receiver that they're excited about. A 6'2", 200-pound receiver that has a good dimension of speed that adds that vertical stretch. But they've been real happy with his progress during training camp, and they expect him to have an impact this season.
The Jets spread the field with 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 5. Fitzpatrick going to go deep, far side. It is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall is going to be in the slot, and the Browns had talked to us when Brandon Marshall lines up in the slot, they're going to attempt to double team him. When he's one-on-one on the outsides, that's when you'll see those matchups with he and Joe Hayden. But when you get him in the slot, they realize that's what the Jets want to do with him, is get him the football from the slot. So that's why they'll double him. Nice throw by Fitzpatrick, dropping it in there. Even better job by the Cleveland defense knocking it out.
Ryan Quigley kicking it away to Travis Benjamin, who calls for the fair catch and makes it inside his 10-yard line. 11:36 to play here in the first quarter, and Josh McCown will get his hands on the football when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. The Cleveland Browns starting at about their own 9-yard line. And Jet fans already up in the end zone. The rookie, Duke Johnson Jr., is in the backfield with McCown on first down. McCown dancing around and going to go deep. Incomplete. Through the arms of his tight end, Jim Dre.
And Calvin Pryor was in coverage for the Jets. He lost location of the ball as he's trailing Dre. It's a difficult catch, but one that you'd like to see Dre make when it hits him in both hands.
13-year veteran Josh McCown, the starter, named the starter early on by Mike Pettin, and he is the guy at quarterback. 2nd and 10. The give is to Crowell, and Crowell runs into heavy-duty traffic at the line of scrimmage, led by the rookie Leonard Williams. Offensive line, 8 seasons, 8 Pro Bowls. Left tackle Joe Thomas is consistently great as there is at his position. And 2nd-year running back Crowell being counted on to lead the Cleveland ground game. He had 8 rushing touchdowns a season ago. Third and 9. On the move. Across the 15. and hits hard, but appears to have a first down at about the 20-yard line. Darrelle Revis coming up from the cornerback spot.
Well, as McCown was scrambling in the pocket and keeping his eyes upfield, you'll see as he evades to the right, he takes off and running. He points out where he wants Crowell to come up and block. Forgetting about Revis, he needs to get his shoulders down, protect himself a little bit better.
That's Scott Solomon, fourth-year linebacker out of Rice, number 54, being carted off the field. We'll check on his situation. Meanwhile, a new set of downs for McCown. We are at 9:55 to play here in the first. Crowell. On defense for the Jets, first-round draft pick Leonard Williams, who will get a chance to shine, the two-time All-American from USC. When a tackle is made, chances are David Harris will be in on it. The Jets linebacker has led the team in tackles 7 of his 8 seasons. And headlining that rebuilt Jets secondary is the superb cornerback Darrelle Revis. Jets fans welcome number 24 back with open arms. 2nd and 9. And we get a whistle. And Jerome Boger in on the consultation.
Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds. The officials thought that New York was calling a timeout, but they were just doing hand signals. No timeout on the play. 2nd down.
Well, the officials mistakenly thought the New York Jets were calling a timeout. They did not. So it's 2nd and 9. Counting with lots of time, now throws it over the middle and across the 25, about the 27-yard line to Malcolm Johnson out of the backfield. David Harris and Calvin Pace making the tackle, which brings us to 3rd and 2. So we come up on 8:45 to play in the first.
Well, and with the defensive front that the Jets have, they have the luxury of sometimes only rushing 3 defenders and dropping guys into coverage. That time, Josh McCown had plenty of time to scan the field, looking sideline to sideline before hitting his check down to put this into a much more manageable 3rd down.
Kind of surprising that Josh McCown is getting the time that he's getting.
It has been, and that's where right now when you're only rushing that many people, the offensive line for Cleveland is holding up.
Play clock down to 2, down to 1. They got the snap off, and McCown throws sideline, and it is complete and out of bounds close to the 40-yard line is Taylor Gabriel for a first down.
Well, that time the Jets decided to bring pressure and lock down in man-to-man coverage in the backfield. Taylor Gabriel, young receiver, they said they weren't going to shy away from Revis. Josh McCown said if we have to take our chances, we will. You can see there Gabriel with a very good route, setting up Revis with that inside move out of the slot, taking it to the boundary with an accurate throw, picking up the first down.
First down, Cleveland at the Browns' 40-yard line. This is Crowell. Crowell out of bounds, a pickup of about 3. We'll make it 2nd and 7. Hey, never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight right as it happens. Download the CBS Sports app now. McCown on 2nd and 7. This is Crowell again. Crowell is running room up the middle, across the 45, spinning out to the 48-yard line. Looks to be about a yard short of a first down. Calvin Pryor, the second-year safety, up to make the tackle.
And when talking to the Browns, you hear them talk about how we want to establish the run. We want to run the football, and you think to yourself, well, wait a second, this Jet defense, they're really good at stopping the run. But you can see the consistency with what Cleveland is doing in terms of their play calling. They're pounding this ball.
On short yardage, McCown with the keeper and appears to have enough for the first down. Were you just thrilled to death as a quarterback when they said, okay, sneak it, Trent?
Not when you see those big bodies that the Jets have at the defensive line. I was pretty good with my offensive line, though. There were some good crew there. You can see the push they get in the center there. As we mentioned, Alex Mack coming back off of that injury, pushing the pile there in the middle, and that's right where Josh McCown followed.
Once again, the rookie, Duke Johnson Jr. A little sidearm pass complete across midfield and into Jets territory is tight end Gary Barnidge.
Quentin Copels will be coming up the field here on McCown. See how he gets his body around and has to drop his arm and do a little sidearm.
Nice little makeshift pass by McCown.
Sometimes you just have to make it up.
2nd and 8, the 11th play of this drive. And now Duke Johnson in the slot to the near side. McCown saw the rush coming, got rid of it, and inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line is Malcolm Johnson.
Jets decide to bring pressure this time, coming off the right side. McCown's aware of what's going on and gets to his hot receiver. You see him going out to the flat. You see the pressure that's going to be coming here. That's good understanding that Josh McCown has of the protection, knowing that he doesn't have anybody picking those bodies up and he knows where to go with the ball quickly.
Cleveland Browns dead last in the NFL a season ago today, 3 out of 3 on 3rd down. Looking at a 3rd and 2. Pulled it down twice. Now on the move and throws sideline, and it's complete. Inside the 25. Diving for the 20-yard line is Gary Barnidge, the tight end, and that's another Cleveland 1st down.
Good poise and presence by McCown once again. The Jets only rushed 4, dropped 7 into coverage. They're able to get some initial pressure on him as he flushes through the pocket, keeping his eyes up the field. I don't know if people necessarily would have thought that was the matchup you would go to with Barnidge there, but Barnidge does a nice job of stopping on the sideline and bringing in the 1st down.
1st down from the 21-yard line. This is Drone, Sean Drone, for about 3. The word from the Cleveland sideline is linebacker Scott Solomon has suffered an ankle injury. And for more, let's go down to Jamie.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, Greg. We saw him carted off. The team doesn't want to say much more, but his return is questionable to this game.
Thank you, Jamie. 2nd and 6.
This is usually the part of the field where teams like to take a shot to the end zone. The closer you get to the end zone, things are kind of restricted down there. So now you got a little bit of space. If you're going to take a shot, this is an area a lot of teams like to do it.
Crowell. Nothing doing on the left side.
Lee J. Duzable was early on that snap, jumping the count.
Penalty marker down on the far side of the field.
Offside. Defense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
So Leger Duzable is the guilty party.
See Duzable right there. He's the one coming on the early, anticipating the snap count, gets across the line early.
That moves the ball to the New York Jet 12-yard line and gives McCown a 2nd and 1. 14th play of this drive for the Cleveland Browns. Crowell straight ahead for a 1st down inside the 10 to about the 9. And it'll be 1st and goal. Calvin Pryor up once again from his safety position to make the hit.
Good counter play by the Browns that time, kicking out. John Greco pulling from his right guard position, kicking out the defensive end.
This has been a 9-minute drive for the Cleveland Browns. We have 2.5 to play here in the 1st quarter. Crowell, the lone back behind McCown. And movement up front. And this might have been John Greco.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Greco, the 8th-year man out of Toledo.
Well, the problem is when you compliment somebody, they usually tend to come back and have them mess up. So you're going to see, oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong guy. Here we go. There's Greco there. On the previous play, he was pulling on the counter. This time he gets a little antsy, wanting to jump off and get his body up on Wilkerson just a little too early.
So first and goal from the 14. McCown, corner of the end zone, incomplete. Intended for tight end Rob Hausler and covered by Calvin Pryor.
The Browns have utilized 3 different tight ends. Hausler this time trying to take it to the corner of the end zone, battling against Pryor. We saw the completion earlier that Pryor, or the attempt earlier to Dre going against Pryor. So that may be a matchup that we have to keep an eye on. The tight ends against the safeties and the running backs against the linebackers in the middle of the field.
Second and goal. Short pass is incomplete. Drone out of the backfield. The running back situation in Cleveland has been in a little bit of disarray all camp long.
Yeah, you think this is going to be a competition between Crowell and Terrence West. They end up trading away Terrence West before the season starts. Duke Johnson ends up getting a concussion, was just cleared this week to play today. And then, as you mentioned, Sean Drone moved up from the practice squad to the active roster. So there has been some shuffling going on.
Third and goal. The Browns 4 out of 4 on third down conversions so far. McCown on the move, 10, 5, diving, lost the football, recovered in the end zone by the Jets. It is for the touchback. Antonio Cromartie covered the loose ball. And we have penalty markers down on the field. With a little pushing and shoving after the whistle.
What was a great drive for the Cleveland Browns, converting third downs, moving the ball, time of possession, everything.
The rule on the field is that the quarterback fumbled the ball prior to going into the end zone, where it was recovered by the Jets for a touchback. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 55, the 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the 20-yard line.
So Alex Mack
Timeout.
is guilty of the personal foul.
And you have to like the effort that Josh McCown gives. He's scrambling up the middle, attempting to get into the end zone, break the plane. The ball is clearly out before he crosses the plane.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. And by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer.
As McCown is getting close to the end zone here, he decides to dive for it. Calvin Pryor is the one that initially makes that hit, knocks the ball loose, and Demario Davis puts that second hit on him, but the ball clearly comes out.
So here are the Jets now from the 35, and this is Chris Ivory right side. And bumped out of bounds across the 45 at the 46-yard line.
Once again, McCown going for the end zone, tucks it away. You see Pryor come in and knock that ball loose. We're going to have to keep an eye on Josh McCown and make sure he's okay after taking a big hit. Not only the hit, but the way he lands right on his face mask.
So a first down for the Jets at their own 46-yard line. 1:10 to play in the first quarter. There is Josh McCown being tended to. This is Ivory. And Ivory to about the 48.
Well, and this is part of the new protocol also. You have the independent neurotrauma specialist that is on each sideline, and if they take a look and decide they want to take him in to do more evaluation, then they can. That's completely independent from the team. So the Browns have no say on this. Josh has no say on this. they're taking him for more evaluation.
Any possibility of a head injury, they're going to take him off the field and take a look. We are down to 30 seconds to play here in the first. Ivory. No place to go. Cuts it back. Still breaking tackles and brought down. At about the original line of scrimmage, he might have gained a yard. Armonte Bryant with the tackle. And that appears that will be the final play of the opening quarter. We come to the end of one. We're scoreless. Johnny Manziel has been warming up on the sideline. He is the backup quarterback, and it's because of this, Trent.
Watch the intensity on Josh McCown's face as he determines he's going to go for the end zone. But from the right side of your screen, you'll see Davis come in, and that blow to the left side of Josh McCown's helmet is ultimately why he's taken to the locker room for further evaluation for a concussion.
Anything further, we'll bring it to you. Meanwhile, the Jets have movement up front, contact, penalty markers. And we have a full-scale conference. Are we still in preseason mode?
The Browns were clearly in the neutral zone. Paul Kruger on the far side definitely was, but they have flags on both sidelines, so.
And clearly a difference of opinion.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 99, moving into the neutral zone early, causing a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That was Paul Kruger. Reminder, never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, every highlight right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now. So still no time off the clock here to start the second quarter. 3rd and 2 for the Jets.
Hey, Mike, Wait, 80! Mike,
This is Ivory. And Ivory pushing for a first down, going to come up about a yard short. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, we do see Johnny Manziel warming up because Josh McCown was indeed taken to the locker room for an evaluation of a head injury or concussion. Someone came over to him and talked to him for a little bit, and he voluntarily walked in. He said, "I'm okay," to one of the guys, but of course, per protocol, he had to go in and get evaluated.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Meanwhile, on 4th and 1, the Jets with their offense on the field. And Cleveland wants a timeout. Timeout with 14:24 to play in the second quarter. Remember when we asked Todd Bowles if he's a chance taker?
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live primetime games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon. And by the awarded Rewarding Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Look at a little bit of the Hoboken, New Jersey Italian festival. I don't see anything wrong in any picture. Here we go. 4th and 1. Bohannon straight ahead. And it is going to be, depending on where they spot the football, it's going to be close.
Going to depend on the spot here, Greg. I don't even know from a replay standpoint if they'll be able to, because there's a big pileup at the point of attack.
That line that you see on your screen is not official, but it's close. Didn't make it. Cleveland's defense holds at the 45-yard line, and the ball goes over. So that means the offense under Johnny Manziel will take over when we come back. 14-15 to play in the first half. Todd Bowles went for it on fourth down. It didn't work. Browns take over at their own 44. He gives to Crowell. Crowell losing yardage. Hit on the far side of the field by Damon Harrison, the nose tackle.
When you mentioned Greg, Johnny Manziel now in the game at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Missed the majority of the offseason because of that self-imposed rehab that he went through. So he missed a big chunk of that coming off your rookie year. That's an important time of study. And then in training camp, because of an elbow issue, missed a couple weeks as well. So just getting back up to speed this past week with practice. I know the Browns told us they were happy with his improvement and his approach.
But you wonder how prepared can he be?
How prepared can you be in that amount of time?
2nd and 13, Manziel in shotgun. Under pressure, throws and delivers across midfield. And inside the Jet 45 is Jim Dre, the tight end. Johnny Manziel's had a roller coaster college and NFL career. Dazzled with his arm and feet at Texas A&M, winning the Heisman in 2012. In his rookie season last year, he struggled. No touchdown, 2 interceptions in 5 games.
That last play, the Jets decided to test him a little bit, bringing pressure, but he handled it well and got the ball off quickly to his hot throw.
This is Duke Johnson. And Johnson cuts it back and inside the 40 to the Jets' 38-yard line.
Johnson, the all-time leading rusher out of the University of Miami. You see his mobility and his vision to be able to cut back, have that patience, and get vertical up the field. The Browns were very high on him when we were talking with him last night.
See that little sly smile Mike Pettin gave when I asked if he's the real deal. He says he can do everything. His skill set is tremendous. 2nd and 4. The pitch for Johnson. Tried to cut back that time, and it looks like he may have lost a yard. Muhammad Wilkerson with the tackle. Jamie.
Josh McCown is officially out with a concussion for the Cleveland Browns, so we will see Johnny Manziel the rest of this game. Greg, remember what Josh McCown told us. He has been working with Johnny Manziel in his preparation week to week. He was essentially very happy with Johnny's feet. He said, watch them, he seems a lot more settled.
All right, Jamie, thank you. So Johnny Manziel is the guy. Right now, 3rd and 4. Penalty marker thrown. Manziel on the run, cuts it back and has running room. 20, sliding down to the 15-yard line. Let's check the flag.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 34. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
We talk about points of emphasis this time every year, Trent, and that was one from the NFL.
Well, and right here we're going to watch the running back as he comes up to make a chop block. You can see the rule is Crowell, when he comes up to make that block, you cannot be engaged. So the defensive lineman was still engaged with Alex Mack, and as Crowell comes up to make that block, you can't chop somebody when he's engaged at a different level. So it's more for protection of the defensive lineman.
22-yard dash by Manziel is nullified. It's 3rd and 19. Manziel going to go deep and got a man open and he hit him inside the 20. Touchdown, Cleveland. Travis Benjamin.
Johnny Manziel comes out hot. Here's Travis Benjamin. He releases to the outside against Cromartie. Cromartie knows he has inside help. The inside help doesn't get there. Manziel with an accurate throw. Jarrett was that inside safety. Jaquan Jarrett was the inside safety that was trying to come over the top and help him. Great throw to Benjamin down that sideline. You can see Benjamin was trying to get an outside release and convert it over to an inside and found a way to split it.
The new extra point rules have this one being kicked from the 28-yard line. And we have whistles on the field. It'll count.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 72 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
It won't count. The Browns were walking off the field as if it was a given. Instead, it'll back them up. So this will be a 38-yard point after touchdown. There's another look at Johnny Manziel's first career TD pass.
Once again, Benjamin gets an outside release on Cromartie. Cromartie is fading to the outside, realizing he has inside help, or thinking he has inside help. So Benjamin takes that route inside, and Manziel puts him right in stride.
So Travis Coons for the extra point from 38 yards out. And it's good. 11:01 to play. And the Browns are on the board first, and now we have a penalty marker down.
Replay the try.
Well, I think it's safe to say, Greg, that coming into this game, we knew we were going to have some long extra points, but now we have the NFL's longest extra point
Ever.
in history.
Ever.
Attempt, I should say. He hasn't made it yet. It's the longest extra point attempt in history.
So this is from 38-yard line. A 48-yard extra point on its way. Well, it's good so far.
Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Don't go to commercial yet. Let's wait and see.
No penalties, no nothing. A 48-yard point after. And the Cleveland Browns with a 7-0 lead. Johnny Manziel pressed into service due to the concussion to starting quarterback Josh McCown. Throws his first career touchdown pass to Travis Benjamin. And the Browns are on top 7-0. Chris Owusu is deep for the Jets. A 48-yard extra point. Is that what the Founding Fathers had in mind?
That's unheard of. But the thing is, he made it by plenty of distance.
Owusu will not run this one out, and so they'll start from their own 20-yard line with 11:01 to play in the first half and a 7-0 Cleveland lead. 7-0 Jets. You know, the high school football season opened in New Jersey here on Friday night as the Elizabeth Minutemen beat Watchung Hills 40-23. And Elizabeth, the alma mater of Jets head coach Todd Bowles, who graduated in '81 and played running back, tight end, defensive back for the team. In June, Bowles gave the commencement speech at graduation and had his jersey retired. Already a local hero.
You know, I don't know what I enjoyed more out of that high school picture. His bow tie, the size of his bow tie, or his hairstyle at the time. So
Cleveland, 13 minutes, 13 seconds in time of possession compared to 5:46 for the New York Jets. From the 20. And Fitzpatrick hit as he got rid of it by Paul Kruger. And we have another penalty marker.
they had Hayden and Brandon Marshall one-on-one on the far side of the field. That's where the flag was thrown.
There is no foul for illegal contact. When the contact occurred, the quarterback was outside the pocket. Second down.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Your weekend starts here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Peyton Manning and the Broncos take on Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs right here on your home Super Bowl 50, CBS Sports. Second and 10.
Right side. Right side. Hey, kill. Okay. Kill. Set.
Fitzpatrick gonna go deep for Decker. Just overthrew him at the 35-yard line. But Let's get an update from the guys in New York. Across the river, James Brown and Boomer Esiason.
What a way to end the quarter.
Right at last play of the quarter, Tyrod Taylor, 51 yards to Percy Harvin, the former Jet, over the top of Darius Butler, 7-0 up there in Buffalo. If Johnny Manziel could do it, I could do it. That's what Tyrod Taylor said.
Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl.
Well, I knew that wasn't what Boomer Esiason said, not at his age, for Pete's sake. Boomer threw a few in his day.
He threw more than a few.
3rd and 10 for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And he's going to loft one, and it is caught midfield inside the 40. Chris Owusu for a first down.
Owusu with the big catch up the field. He's lined up on the outside. They're just running an exchange route there. 3 different levels. When you have leveled passes as a quarterback, you're looking at those different levels, find out where the defensive backs are going. That time, the Browns jumped the underneath routes, leaving the open route over the top.
43-yard pickup. Play fake. Fitzpatrick looking deep. Throwing. Intercepted. Picked off inside the 20-yard line by Tashawn Gibson, and a loose ball. Let's see what the call is. The call is it'll belong to the Jets. Brandon Marshall covered it. Gibson says he was down.
Well, let's start with this. Gibson drops back. It looks like Marshall's going to be open on the side, and as he's bringing him down, Marshall rips it out of his arms.
You know, the fact that Gibson raises his hands to his helmet tells me that he thinks he turned it over.
Right here you can see Brandon Marshall rips the ball out. He has possession of it right there before Gibson hits the ground.
So if one turnover is reviewable, certainly 2 of them are. But Jerome Boger still standing midfield. Well, Jerome Boger says we're playing.
Well, he was looking to the sideline. It's automatically reviewed because of the turnover, but they must have decided he didn't have to come over and look at it himself. So,
does the second turnover negate the first one? That's strange. 1st and goal, Jets from the 9. Fitzpatrick for Ivory with a blocker. 5. Touchdown. Penalty marker thrown at the goal line.
they're going to get James Carpenter with a holding call. He's the left guard that pulls out in front of this screenplay.
Holding. Offense. Number 15. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
They call it on Brandon
They
Marshall.
call it on Brandon Marshall. The screenplay is going to be coming to the outside here. You'll see Carpenter leak with Ivory, but Marshall's down here. You'll see Marshall down here in the end, and that's who they call the holding on right here in the end zone.
And that, for the moment, keeps the Jets off the board. Ivory inside the 5, now gets to the end zone for the touchdown. No flags.
Appears to be Dante Whitner. He's the one that's going to be coming up here as the run comes through the middle. Whitner's trying to come up and make the tackle. He just tries throwing his shoulder and an arm into it, doesn't get wrapped up. Ivory with the spin move into the end zone. You get against big downhill running backs like that, you have to wrap up their legs. They'll find ways to rip through those arm tackles, or in that case was a shoulder tackle.
And the extra point attempt from 33 yards out is good. 9:41 to play in the first half, and the Jets tie it at 7-7.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. And by Voya Financial, changing the way you think of retirement.
Nice view of the Statue of Liberty on a beautiful day here in the New York area. 9:41 to play in the first half. Chris Ivory's touchdown run has pulled the Jets even at 7.
And that was the response the Jets needed. You mentioned at the start of that drive, it has been lopsided so far in the game. Over 13 minutes time of possession for the Browns, and leading into that drive, the Jets had only had the ball for a little over 5 minutes. So much needed for the Jets, and very timely that Brandon Marshall was able to rip that interception away and bring it back to the Jets.
Sean Crone in the end zone will not run this one back as it goes through the end zone for the touchback. While we have the opportunity, Week 1 continues later today on CBS and on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN. Well, let's see. We've seen Brandon drop a pass that we felt he should have held, and I'm sure Brandon feels he should have held onto it. Then he recovered. Oh, he had a takeaway. When does a wide receiver get a takeaway?
Right. Not very often. So that was a heads-up play on his part.
Johnny Manziel, touchdown pass to his credit so far today. The Browns from their own 20. And this is Crowell. Bull all the way back to the 15-yard line by Damon Harrison. Forward progress will be marked at the 18, so it'll be a loss of 2 in 2nd and 12.
And Damon Harrison, he'll get the penetration. Well, he's right there. 94 coming through the middle of the offensive line.
These Browns, we talked to them, talking to the Browns last night to a man, they knew what they were up against as far as this Jet defensive front. 2nd and 12. Manziel gonna run it. Out of bounds at about the 23-24 line. Chased out of bounds by Calvin Pryor. And Antonio Cromartie is down on the far side of the field.
And even though starter Josh McCown is known to scramble, he doesn't have that same level of speed that Johnny Manziel does. So it adds another dimension for the Jets defense to deal with.
That's Antonio Cromartie, who has just helped, and he needed some help off to the sideline. Counted on to be a big part of this Jets secondary. Take a look at what happened.
There's Cromartie. Watch him as he's backpedaling here. Against Hawkins, it's a left knee right there. As he plants it in the ground, it almost hyperextends, so that's what they're taking a look at over on the Jets sideline.
Buster Screen, the ex-Cleveland Brown, onto the field in place of Cromartie on 3rd and 6. Manziel throwing, complete. First down, Cleveland across the 30 to Taylor Gabriel. And we have a penalty marker.
Holding. Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
And that's the left guard, Joel Bitonio.
Well, Taylor Gabriel was the one that brought in that last reception against Revis, and talking to McCown last night, he was saying that even though Andrew Hawkins led the team last year in receptions and yards, and they brought in Brian Hartline, it was Benjamin and Gabriel that were going to have an impact just because of their shiftiness and their ability with their route running to get open.
3rd and 16. Manziel needs the 30-yard line for a first down. The give is to Johnson. And Johnson tackled just as he crosses the 15. Falls forward to the 17-yard line, and that'll bring on the punting unit. You know, going back to Antonio Cromartie, you know, you certainly don't want to guess as to what happened, but you can usually tell how serious it is by the amount of attention he gets on the sideline and on the field.
And by the body language that the player has when they're going through it, and you can see it doesn't look good as he grabs the towel and puts it over his face.
Jeremy Curley is deep for the punt. Should be able to return this one. Backs him up to about the 21-yard line. Curley, great open field tackle at the 22 by Craig Robertson. 60-yard punt and about a 2-yard return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cialis and by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
A very boisterous Jets crowd at the start of the day, quieted by this sight just a minute or so ago of Antonio Cromartie being wheeled off of the field, towel over his head. And as soon as we get an update, they pass it along. First down from the Jets 23. Fitzpatrick, quick pass, incomplete, intended for Kellen Davis, the tight end. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You can kind of feel the air go out of the stadium, even though the last possession defensively, the Jets were able to get the stop, and then offensively, the Jets' last possession, they went down and got the touchdown. So the momentum had really changed in the favor of the Jets, and the crowd was reacting that same way. But with the apparent injury to Cromartie and being wheeled into the locker room, it's kind of quieted everybody down here.
You talked about body language. The body language from the Jets on the sideline and from Cromartie himself was not good. 2nd and 10. Bilal Powell trying to find running room and does not. Forward progress just across the 25-yard line. Let's go back and take a look once again.
So here's Cromartie at the top of the screen. He's going to be backpedaling as he's in coverage. He plants his left leg awkwardly, and it looks like it hyperextends or straightens out right there about the 23-yard line. Then you can see the emotion. And I can tell you, having gone through that back in 1999, a lot of that emotion has to do with the realization that your season may ultimately be over. And we're not speculating what the injury may be. I can just reflect on myself. When the injury happened to me, it wasn't so much the pain as what may potentially happen.
Snap got past Fitzpatrick. He's trying to cover it. The scramble for the ball inside the 5-yard line. And apparently, let's see if the Jets have it. They do have it. This looked like a snap that Fitzpatrick wasn't ready for. He wasn't.
He was looking out to his left as the ball came, and I'm not sure how he got that ball back.
He had no right getting that ball back.
I saw him signaling possession, and I was like, there's 4 Browns there, and I don't know how he, somewhere, strange things happen to the bottom of those piles, so he was able to get the football back.
So Ryan Quigley will try to get a punt off on his own end zone. Benjamin at his own 45. The Jet 45, and then cuts it back and hits hard at the 35-yard line by Jamari Lattimore. So great field position for Manziel and the Browns with 5:54 to play in the first half. Saturday, best game from the best conference when the SEC on CBS brings you 6th-ranked Auburn at 14th-ranked LSU from Death Valley. It's an early season showdown that all begins with college football today, live at 3 Eastern Time. Auburn almost didn't make it to the victory line last night, did they?
That was an interesting ball game with Jacksonville State. They got lucky there pulling it out at the end.
Took them to overtime and won it 27-20. So Manziel with great field position at the Jet 35-yard line. Sidearm pass did not click. 2nd and 10. Andrew Hawkins, intended receiver.
That's going to be the case. Some of that's going to happen because it's just Johnny getting on the same page with the receivers and those guys understanding what he's seeing. And he hasn't had a lot of reps, both in the offseason and in training camp with the amount of time that he's missed. So
the Jets have confirmed what we suspected, that Antonio Cromartie has suffered a knee injury and his return is doubtful. 2nd and 10. Crowell. Down at the 35. Muhammad Wilkerson leading the charge. It'll be 3rd and 10. So the Jet defense gets stiff. Meanwhile, bunch of hurts here today. McCown with a concussion, gone for the day, and then Cromartie. Key players on both sides. And don't forget, Cleveland lost linebacker Scott Solomon to an ankle injury. 3rd and 10. Manziel on the move, had to throw it. Is that caught inside the 25-yard line? My goodness, what a catch by Brian Hartline.
he catches that from his, I was going to say his knees. Watch as he reaches back one-handed.
That's a terrific catch.
And is able to cradle it with his other arm.
Now the fans are wondering if it bounced. Did it?
I don't think it did. I think it went from his right arm. Watch here, his right arm, and it goes to his left arm. But watch, it never hits the ground.
On the field of a completed catch.
Well, the Jets will challenge that. It looked from afar like he got his arms under it. So Jerome Boger will head over under the hood as we take another look at it.
See the space that's underneath the ball. You can see that forearm staying above the ground. I don't see how there's going to be enough evidence to overturn this. I thought initially Manziel was trying to get the ball to Gary Barnidge, 82, the tight end. And because of the pressure he had, he floated it down the field. I think Revis thought he maybe even was going to have a chance at an interception.
You know, Odell Beckham of the Giants has led the charge in the one-handed catch department. This one was pretty good.
This one's pretty good.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field is confirming it's a completed catch. The receiver batted the ball into the air and made the catch prior to going to the ground. First down, Cleveland.
So that will cost the Jets one of their timeouts.
His first timeout.
Each team has 2 remaining with 4:41 to play here in the half.
It's clearly a catch. You can see with his right arm, and I thought it was interesting the way Chad Boger said it. It's confirmed, meaning there was enough evidence to show that it didn't hit the ground, as opposed to just saying the play stands, which mean it was inconclusive and you couldn't tell enough. So that's what the call on the field was. So the fact that he said it was confirmed, they had the angles they believe secured that catch as well.
Manziel throwing back the other way. That's complete. This is Benjamin. Benjamin down the sideline and out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Browns.
Benjamin is a wide receiver coming in from Manziel's left. He comes in motion and just does a return route, so you get to see and set up that screen.
Demario Davis pushed him out. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for Cleveland. Moving up on 4 minutes to play. This is Crowell. Crowell to the 5. You can see how Cleveland has dominated in time of possession, yet we're all even in the scoreboard.
Time of possession in yards. It goes back to that drive where McCown got hurt. That was a 9-minute drive, and they didn't get any points out of it as the fumble occurred before he got into the end zone.
2nd and goal. Manziel still with the football. On the move. Lobbing. end zone. Caught. Did he come down? Inbound. They're going to talk about it. And it did not. That's Andrew Hawkins.
How about the speed and athleticism of Leonard Williams? You can see he secures the catch and both feet are out of bounds. Good concentration, bringing the ball.
Now that left heel comes out of bounds. So now it's 3rd and goal. Duke Johnson split as a wide receiver, motion on the offensive line, and this looks like this will back the Browns up.
There is no delay of the game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And when the official in the back of the end zone is the one that's throwing the flag, he's the one that's keeping an eye on the play clock. So as soon as that flag came down, it didn't matter what the other 2 flags were because it was a delay of game.
So still 3rd and goal from 10 yards out. Manziel on the move again, diving, and is down at about the 7-yard line. And that'll bring the field goal unit on. Johnny Manziel doesn't look like he's missed that much time, although the timing, his passes have pretty much been on the money.
Yeah, he's had a couple miscues, and it was more just a communication thing, and that just comes with getting reps. But he's done a nice job of protecting the football that time there, not forcing the ball on 3rd down, understanding he's in the red zone, in field goal range, just tucking the ball, going up and getting some positive yards.
Travis Kuhn's first career field goal attempt is good. And with 2:46 to play in the first half, it's a 3-point Cleveland lead. This is the NFL on CBS. Reminder for you coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. JB and the guys for all the latest NFL scores and highlights and a preview of the season debut of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. All coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Chris Owusu is deep for the Jets and taken short inside the 20-yard line by Kellen Davis. And he'll be marked down at about the 27-yard line. Do not miss the season premiere of TV's #1 comedy on its new night, The Big Bang Theory, Monday, September the 21st, right here on CBS. Trent Green on the bass guitar.
When you try and squib kick, it's good not to have if you're the Browns, you don't need a 6'7" tight end to reach up and grab it before it gets to the
Was
back.
that an attempt to squib, or was that just a bad kick by a first-year kicker?
Yeah, it was both.
Fitzpatrick throws sideline, and there's a grab made by Brandon Marshall. And Marshall good for the first down out to the 39-yard line.
Jets are going to be in somewhat of a hurry up here. There's 2.5 minutes, or just under 2.5 minutes before the half. Still have the 2 timeouts left. They need to get a sustained drive going there.
Joe Hayden was covering Marshall on that play, as he is now, and says he likes covering bigger receivers. Fitzpatrick looking this way, and the low pass is picked off of the grass by Chris Owusu across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That brings us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here at MetLife Stadium. Browns 10, Jets 7. It's not too late to play NFL.com Fantasy. Join Draft and Play from anywhere with the new and improved mobile app. Sign up free at NFL.com/fantasy. 2 minutes to play, each team with 2 timeouts remaining. The Jets at their own 47, 2nd and 2. Fitzpatrick to Powell with yardage. inside the 45 to about the 42 or the 43-yard line. Randy Starks with the tackle.
And you know, as the Browns are frustrated there, they had the defense called, they had the play figured out, and they still weren't able to execute it and stop them for the first down. Minute 40 left now, and still with those 2 timeouts, the Jets are going to a hurry up.
Patrick looking left, hits Brandon Marshall, and Marshall out of bounds at about the 33. 1:25 on the clock. Last 2 minutes of a half or the game was not good for Cleveland a year ago. 2nd and 1. Fitzpatrick looks right, throws right. That's complete inside the 30 once again to Marshall. Were you surprised to hear Joe Hayden say he likes covering receivers bigger than he is?
Well, I think because Joe likes bump and run. He likes to get his hands on receivers. He likes that physical contact, and I think it gives him just from a standpoint of compared to being off and having to backpedal as to getting some physical play.
Outside again and dragged down at the 22-yard line is Powell. And we are under a minute, and Fitzpatrick uses a timeout here to stop the clock with 56 seconds on the clock. So Ryan Fitzpatrick has done well moving the offense today. Here's this matchup, Trent.
Well, and it's big body. That's what Brandon Marshall brings, that 6'4" presence as a receiver. And even though Hayden likes the physical play, he's right there in contact. He's had a couple of completions on this drive where he was right in Brandon Marshall's hip pocket, but because of the size of Marshall, he's able to out-physical him to the ball.
Fitzpatrick 6 for 6 throwing the ball on this drive. 2nd and 5. Looks right, gonna go left for Owusu, incomplete. Covered by Tremont Williams. 3rd and 5, there is Geno Smith. Locker room squabble cost him his starting job, and there's no guarantee he'll get that starting job back.
Todd Bowles made that very clear. He said, listen, if we're winning football games and Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing well, it's his job. Now, he'll have to revisit it if things aren't going well, but right now he doesn't want Ryan Fitzpatrick looking over his shoulder.
3rd and 5. Powell. And Powell with running rule off the right side to about the 15-yard line, and that's a Jet first down. 40 seconds to play in the first half.
And the Jets want to conserve that last time out, so Fitzpatrick's getting him up to the line.
Fitzpatrick in the end zone. Touchdown, Decker.
Decker's lined up in the slot on K'Wan Williams. You see him coming here. He's just going to have a skinny post. Williams thinks he has help from the safety over the top. He thinks he has help from Gibson on the inside. Gibson floats too much to the outside, given that inside lane.
What a slingshot of a throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nick Folk, who has never missed an extra point in regular season.
Hey, watch the route by Eric Decker coming inside here, but keep your eye on the safety. He's going to be the one that Williams thinks he has help on the inside. You can see with that outside leverage, he believes he has help from Gibson on the inside. Accurate throw from Fitzpatrick for the touchdown.
Hi, I'm Randy Moss, and I have DirecTV. And I'm Petite Randy Moss, and I have cable. Only DirecTV's NFL Sunday Ticket lets you watch your favorite team every Sunday, no matter where you live. I just moved here. I can't watch my favorite team. I love that I can watch all my old teams like I'm still back there. And I hate it when they put the Fruity Munch on the top shelf. Don't be like this, me. Get NFL Sunday Ticket, only on DirecTV. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
The guys back in the New York studio getting antsy to do the Verizon halftime report. JB and the guys. Scores and highlights and a preview of the season debut of Thursday Night Football on CBS and the NFL Network. All coming up. The Verizon halftime report. 26 seconds on the clock. Not going to get a chance to return this one either. So this will come out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Manziel and the offense will go to work. In case you haven't heard, who hasn't heard, a new era in late night has begun. Don't miss the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Tomorrow, Stephen has Emily Blunt. Tuesday, Jake Gyllenhaal, only CBS.
.26 seconds and 2 timeouts. A lot of times you'll run a draw or a screen, see if you can't pick up some big yards and use a timeout. If not, you can just let it wind down and go to the half.
Manziel will hand it off to Crowell. Crowell across the 25, and the clock will continue to wind at about the 27-yard line. And that looks like it'll be it for the half. The Browns in no rush to get another snap off. And that's the way the first half will wind down, and Joe Thomas's consecutive offensive snap streak continues to roll. We'll talk more about that in the second half. That's the end of our first half, with the Jets leading it by a score of 14-10. We're coming back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 50. Welcome back to East Rutherford, New Jersey, as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. 14-10 in favor of the Jets. Take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Ryan Fitzpatrick intercepted by Deshaun Gibson. Brandon Marshall took the ball right back, and the Jets, with 2 touchdowns, lead it by a score of 14-10. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. A strange first half. The Browns lost linebacker Scott Solomon to an ankle injury. They lost Josh McCown, their quarterback, to a concussion. The New York Jets lost Antonio Cromartie to a knee injury. What do you look forward to in the second half of a game like this?
Well, when you're looking at the game and the play of the first half was an interception thrown by your quarterback, that just tells you a little bit of the flow of this of the first half. Going into the second half, the Browns need to pressure Ryan Fitzpatrick. Jim O'Neill, Browns defensive coordinator, told me this week they need to move Fitzpatrick off his spot. They need to be able to pressure him, and they haven't gotten any pressure so far. And then for the Jets, they have to sustain drives, only 10 minutes time of possession. Leading into that last 2-minute drive, they only had 4 first downs, and that final 2-minute drive scoring before the half, they got 5 in that one drive.
All right, Trent, 14-10. First half numbers, there were time of possession was very much in favor of the Cleveland Browns. And take a look at the Jets, who have caught up in a number of areas now. Let's check in downstairs with Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Well, Greg, I spoke with Todd Bowles going into the half. He said he could sense the energy go down when Antonio Cromartie got hurt because he's such a well-liked guy. But the secondary is one of the strongest suits for the Jets, so the next guy has to stand up. As far as I know, Cromartie is still doubtful to return to this game with that knee injury. As far as Mike Pettin, he told me that Johnny Manziel prepared this week as a starter. That is why he looked so prepared when he entered this game. And in case you were wondering, Greg, if Johnny Manziel goes down, and fingers crossed that he doesn't, Brian Hartline is now the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Browns get the ball first here in the second half. This is Sean Drone. Will run it out of the end zone from about 8 yards deep to the 15, and tripped up before he gets to the 20. We have a penalty flag down on the far side of the field. Darren Walls making that tackle.
Well, Johnny Manziel was impressive in that first half. If you think about the amount of reps that he had in the offseason and in training camp because of the injury he dealt with the tendonitis in his elbow, he didn't have a lot of reps. He came out, he's looked sharp. I think he's been pretty concise with his decision-making.
Receiving team, number 53. Half the distance to the goal. Cleveland keeps the ball. First down.
Craig Robertson is guilty of the penalty, and that'll back the Browns up. Here's a look at Johnny Manziel in the first half.
Accurate with his throws, understanding pressure comes off the right side. He pops it to the tight end, and here's the deep throw, the touchdown pass that he has to Benjamin after Benjamin beats Cromartie. And then here Russian flushing out of the pocket, kind of throwing a floater that Hartline is able to drag in with one hand.
From the 10, quick pass. Out to about the 15-yard line. Andrew Hawkins making the catch on the low throw.
Well, talking to Mike Pettin and just, you know, with John DeFilippo, the new offensive coordinator, and Kevin O'Connell, the new quarterback coach, they said they really grind on Johnny Manziel. They mentally grind on him to prepare himself like a starter, and he's been absorbing all of this stuff in the coaching. He's accepted very well, and you can see it's paying off so far in this game.
Duke Johnson up the middle. And out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line for a first down. And I mentioned Duke Johnson Jr. earlier. What an accomplished football player he was at the University of Miami.
Well, it's incredible when you look up the numbers. First of all, the history of University of Miami football and the running backs they've had go through there. And Duke Johnson, all-time leader in rushing, all-time leader in all-purpose yards. Heck of a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Mike Pettin says more of a complete back than you would think. Johnson again. Shakes a tackle. Out to about the 25-yard line. Take a look at those Duke Johnson numbers. Third-round pick. All-purpose yards, rushing yards, both Hurricane records.
Pretty storied program to be at the top of that list, so quite an accomplishment for Duke Johnson Jr.
Gotten a couple of updates. The Jets say Antonio Cromartie will not return with that knee injury, and nor will Scott Solomon, the linebacker for the Cleveland Browns, with his ankle injury. Manziel looking this way, throws this way, and off the fingertips. Did he grab it? He did not. Bobbled it as he went out of bounds. That was tight end Jim Dre.
He has a chance to secure that catch. He could turn and get a couple yards, but as you say, Greg, it wasn't a completion. Just a meaningful game for Dre. Not that all of them are, but Dre being a New Jersey native. Playing back here against the Jets.
3rd and 8 now. And here come the Jet fans. Manziel throwing, and that is complete, close to the 35-yard line. It looks like that will be enough for a first down. Brian Hartline, who you'd say he's the epitome of a possession receiver, wouldn't you?
Exactly, and I like the way Manziel's throwing the football here. He's keeping it low. You know, a lot of young quarterbacks, when they get in there, they won't finish their throws, and if you're not finishing, the ball tends to go high. This time, keeping the ball low, only spot for his receiver. Hartline, in this instance, come back, make the catch, pick up the first down.
New set of downs for Manziel and the Browns at their own 34. This is Crowell. And Crowell back to the line of scrimmage and no further. David Harris leading the charge. A linebacker who was in on most every Jet tackle.
I was going to say the tackling machine, David Harris.
And we have an injured Brown down on the field. That's 77, John Greco. You see Greco getting caught up in there, and his helmet popped off.
Got his body peeled back there a little bit. Looks to be all right.
He'll be replaced by the first-round draft pick Cameron Irving out of Florida State. I was going to say, Trent, really easy for you to say from up here. Hey, he looks all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right. Shake it off.
Linemen are a different breed, Greg.
Aren't they? Second and 9, movement by Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle.
Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Trent, what happens with that? Somebody's just not listening in the huddle?
You know, sometimes it's, you know, if you're trying to go with a hard count, or sometimes the defense will give you a false count to get you to move a little bit too. So really it's a lot of times falls back on just concentration, just not focused in. You can see he was the only one to move, nobody else did. So
See 10 penalties on the Browns worth 84 yards so far today. Second and 14, Manziel to throw. Manziel to run. 35, cuts it back, goes to the turf at about the 37.
good decision by Manziel, not forcing the ball upfield, seeing the defense drop into coverage, and as he scrambles upfield, he sees the tackle machine, David Harris, coming at him. He goes, wait a second, I'm going to cut back in. Oh, wait, I got to cut back in. There's Calvin Pace. I think I'll just go down.
He went down, something Josh McCown didn't do, and it cost him the rest of the game. Fitzpatrick antsy to get back onto the field. 3rd and 7. Manziel got rid of it. Far side, intercepted. To the 30. Marcus Williams.
The Jets decide to bring pressure, and they go man-to-man across the board. Right there, number 20, Marcus Williams, sitting on Hartline. Manziel trying to make that back shoulder throw, and Williams jumping all over it.
So
in a nickel situation, screens on the field. Well, screens their nickel guys, so he's in on the slot. Screen had been the one replacing Cromartie, but now in those nickel and dime situations, Williams has to come in the game and play that corner position, coming up with a key interception.
Getting some playing time, and now Fitzpatrick going to give it to Chris Ivory, and Ivory up the middle inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line.
And this second half was starting a little bit like the first half in terms of time of possession there. The Browns had a couple first downs, had been moving the ball, used up over 4 minutes of time, but then the key turnover giving the Jets field position.
Ivory again. And Ivory looked like he had a little running room, was tripped up at about the 20-yard line by Paul Kruger. Third and 2 now. Marcus Williams gets a little playing time due to the injury to Antonio Cromartie, comes up with the pick, and the Jets trying to turn it into points. Ivory in the backfield, a fake to him. Fitzpatrick throwing, it is caught by Marshall. Did he stay in bounds? He did.
I'll be interested to see on this one. He does come up with the ball before he hits the ground, but he almost double catches it. Watch it this route. First time it hits his hand, he bobbles it a little bit. See how he catches it a second time. I think if they were to review this, it would be incomplete. Keep an eye on Coach Pettine. He's got his hand in his pocket. He almost double catches it before he goes to the ground.
He's going to let it go. 1st and goal for the Jets. Ivory pulls his way to 2.
I take my chances on that. I know he's listening to the coaches in the booth or whoever's on the headset. They have somebody up in the booth, but watch Brandon Marshall as he is. Both feet are in bounds, but watch how he bobbles that ball, doesn't secure it until he lands out of bounds. Well, by the time he secures it, both feet are out of bounds. So I think that was a mistake on the Browns to not challenge that. But they got bigger things to stop now. They got 2nd and goal at the 1, so got to let that go and get ready for this next one.
Chris Ivory in the backfield. Ivory. Oh, met hard at the line of scrimmage and pushed back.
Greg, we could hear that up here.
Carlos Dansby.
What a collision.
And that is Nick Mangold. And Mangold shaken up. Wow. We'll take a break. Jet fans cheered as Nick Mangold walked off the field. Dakota Dozier in at center. The pass, far side. Marshall caught it. Touchdown.
One of the things coming into this game that we talked about was the addition of Brandon Marshall and the presence he brings in the red zone. Because of that 6'4" frame, here he is matched up one-on-one with Joe Hayden. Joe's 5'11". He's generally good with big physical receivers.
And thought he had the hops good enough to stick with Brandon Marshall.
It's hard to defend size like that and a throw that accurate.
The Jets last in the league in points off takeaways last season. Now with 14 of them today. 7:51 to play, third quarter. The Jets stretch their lead to 21-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. AT&T. DirecTV and AT&T are now one, bringing television and wireless together. And by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
Little snippets from earlier today. The 25th annual Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure took place in New York Central Park. 21-10, favor of the Jets. What happened to Nick Mangold?
Well, you're going to see him right here. He's the center, and watch him as this snap happens, and he continues through in the block. He walks away from the play, the initial contact. Now watch as the tackle takes place. He doesn't get hit. He just starts walking away from the play, and you see him hang that right shoulder. That tells you that it's a stinger, that he got something going in his neck, and he having a little tingling going down that right arm. You can see as he's carrying it, and that's what they worked on. We saw him on the sideline they were working on. It looks like he's going to be fine and get back in the game, but Dakota Dozier was the center that came in for the touchdown. And here once again, Brandon Marshall, just his big body getting over the top of Joe Hayden for the touchdown. Good accurate throw by Fitzpatrick.
And Joe Hayden apparently less than pleased about the whole situation because on the extra point, he was called for a penalty, pulling someone off of the pile, which you can't do.
Unsportsmanlike penalty for pulling people off of a pile. So I don't know if I've heard that one before, but
you know,
that's what he got called for.
You can't pile on. You can't take people off the pile.
All he's going to say is, "Hey, I was being helpful. I was just helping get people off the pile."
I don't know that I've come across a football player who smiled more than Joe Hayden, but not very happy right now.
No, not at all.
7:51 to play, and this one will be easy to float way over the back line of the end zone for Nick Folk. So the Jets and their fans all fired up. If you're fired up for more football coming up next year on CBS, Game 2 of our doubleheader. The Ravens against Peyton Manning and the Broncos. The Tennessee Titans meet Tampa Bay's Bucks. Or the Bengals visit the Raiders, all here on CBS Sports, the home of Super Bowl 50.
Well, with a 21-10 deficit, the Browns need to get something going on this drive. Get Manziel moving around in the pocket a little bit and get some first downs.
Manziel had to get rid of it, and he does. So Crowell out of the backfield. He's cut down as he crosses the 25, out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. Number 21, Marcus Gilchrist making the tackle. You know, with the exception of the interception, Manziel has not looked bad at all today.
He's done a nice job considering the amount of reps that he had leading up to this game.
Crowell, nothing doing.
Well, and to your point, Greg, that just credit to his preparation. Credit to the, you know, you have to get, as the backup, there's an approach you have to take mentally. You have to mentally get yourself ready, even though you're not physically getting those reps. So give him the credit for the approach that he had and how he's been able to transition it onto the field today.
And you mentioned earlier how Josh McCown said Manziel shadowing him everywhere he went, everything he looked at film-wise, every bit of studying that he does.
Well, he overheard Josh and Alex Mack talking about protections. He's like, hey, can I jump in this meeting with you guys? I want to know what you guys are talking about with protection. So he's taking a proactive approach.
3rd and 3. Manziel staying in the pocket, throwing over the middle and right through the hands of Gary Barnidge, the tight end, thrown a little bit behind him. So that'll bring on Andy Lee in the punting unit. And Jeremy Curley will drop back inside his own 25.
Well, and I think that's progress right there. Manziel started off looking to his right, goes through his progressions, gets to the backside. Wasn't the most accurate throw. You'd like to see him come up with the catch, but just the fact that he's working through the progression tells me a lot.
Good kick by Lee. Drives Curley all the way back to the 13-yard line. He eludes the first guy and is run out of bounds short of the 25-yard line. 6.5 to play. 3rd quarter. The Jets on a roll, 21-10, and they have the football. The rookie D lineman, the first-round draft pick of the Bears, out of Southern Cal, the Trojans. First down. Jets from their own 24.
Like 20!
This is Ivory. And Ivory knocked out of midair at about the 27 or 28-yard line.
And as you can see, Nick Mangold's back in the game there. You see him in the center of the screen.
It'll be 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard gain.
Browns need to continue to try and put pressure on the pocket, move Fitzpatrick off his spot, move him around, not let him get comfortable with his feet.
Brings Owusu in motion to the near side. Fitzpatrick for Owusu. And nothing happening there. He's out of bounds at the 27. Clock continues to move. 5:40 to play in the 3rd.
And with Solomon out because of that injury, Barkevius Mingo has been getting significant playing time here. That time has the speed to keep up, make that tackle before he gets out of bounds.
Mike Pettin spent 4 years as the Jets defensive coordinator. 3rd and 7. Fitzpatrick hangs in, finds Brandon Marshall. Penalty marker flies. Marshall fights his way to the 45-yard line.
So the flag, are they going to get Hayden with the grab or are they going to get Marshall with the push-off? These two have been battling all day.
Pass interference. Defense, number 23. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first down. Good job.
You see the two of them matched up right here. As he comes out of the route, Hayden reaches back with that left arm, grabs him around the waist. So that contact up the field is what they got him to call on. Brandon
was very definitive. He says, I think no one in the league can cover me one-on-one, and when I have one-on-one, I feel the ball should come to me. Ivory squeezes through on the right side, out to about the 48.5, maybe the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 6.
There's a look at Chan Gailey right there, the new offensive coordinator for the Jets. Talking to us about the approach coming into this game. They would like to run the football. We've seen the number of rushing attempts that Ivory has and the way they've been trying to attack the interior part of the line. But he said, listen, if the Browns are going to bring all their guys in the box and try and stop the run and put one-on-one on the outside, I feel like I have the weapons to take those shots up the field. And he's told Ryan Fitzpatrick, take those shots on the one-on-one, and we've seen that today.
Marshall with Tramon Williams on him down the near side, but this is Ivory. Ivory breaking to the outside, has a first down and then some. Inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Dante Whitner finally bringing him down.
And watch the vision and the approach that Ivory is going to have. This run is supposed to be to his left, our right on this view, and he cuts it all the way back. That tells you the way the guys are maintaining their blocks on the backside, but also the vision and speed that Ivory has to be able to make that happen.
19-yard pickup is the longest run by the Jets so far today. Ivory gets a breather. Bilal Powell in the backfield. And the Jets will keep pounding it on the ground, up the middle, inside the 25 to the 23. Hey, if one pill could make you a genius, what would you do? Don't miss the series premiere of Limitless, Tuesday, September 22nd only, CBS. I think I'd have to tell them don't waste a pill on me.
Well, one of the keys of the second half, I said, was that the Jets need to sustain some drives, and that's exactly what they're doing here, using up some time of possession, getting first downs, and wearing down this Browns defense.
Doing what the Jets want to do, running the football. Powell diving for first down yardage, and looks like he has it at the 21.5 or the 22-yard line. They will move the sticks. Todd Bowles looking on. Jets taking time off the clock and marching downfield. Marshall this time to the top. And Joe Hayden on him again. Powell straight ahead. Inside the 20 to about the 17.
And as long as they can get chunks of yardage like this, they're going to keep running the football, use up the clock, use up time of possession. Give the credit to the offensive line of the Jets. You have a 10-year vet in Ferguson. Mangold's been there for 10 years as well. Cologne, 10 years. And Giacomini, the right tackle, 8 years. The new guy on that line, James Carpenter, a free agent from Seattle. He's the young guy in his 5th year. But that's a solid offensive line and one that they've relied on heavily, especially here in the second half.
Second and 6. This is Powell. And the Jets continue to pound it on the ground. Danny Shelton, the rookie nose tackle, making the stop for the Browns. Now 3rd and 5, and Quincy Enunia comes onto the field for the Jets at wide receiver. So Decker, Owusu, Enunwa, and Brandon Marshall. With Bilal Powell. Fitzpatrick stepping up, end zone, tipped in, incomplete. He had Powell breaking into the end zone, and the ball was tipped before it got to him. Barkevius Mingo appeared to get a hand on it.
Well, this is one of the ones you'd like to try and lay to that back end zone. Powell has his man beat, but Mingo's underneath. You just put a little air on it, a little bit softer throw, but you get excited, you get down in that red zone, you want to zip it in there.
So here's Nick Folk. This will be a 34-yard field goal attempt. And it's good. Jets have scored 17 straight points, and with 29 seconds to play in the third, they lead it 24-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Fruit of the Loom. They test their products so you know they work. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Just under half a minute to play here in the third quarter, and the Jets on a roll, 24-10. They've scored 17 straight points. This last field goal coming on the heels of an 11-play, 60-yard drive. Sean Drone deep. And Nick Folk has been doing a good job of keeping the Browns from running it out of the end zone. Manziel and company from the 20. Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat taking in the action. Duke Johnson deep in the backfield. Manziel will give him the football. He doesn't get much of anything. How's the rookie for the Jets doing?
Well, he's had some struggles today. High expectations coming in here. He's matched up on John Greco. Greco pushes him by the pocket. You can see the motor that he has, the intensity that he brings. Talk about leverage and pad level here. He's going up against 8-time All-Pro Joe Thomas. Now he's back up against Greco. Pushes Greco back in the pile. Good speed, but not quite enough to reach out and grab Manziel.
Yeah, Leonard told us he thought the transition to the NFL had been easier than he thought it would be. This is the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 50. Producer Bob Monsbach, our director Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl. As we start the fourth quarter, 24-10 Jets. And another flag.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Quentin Copel is the guilty party. Some of this game one jitters this season. Anxious.
Anxious. They want to get off the ball. They realize that, as a defense, when you know the other team's trailing by 2 touchdowns, they want to get after the quarterback. So, as a defensive lineman, you want to get in and jump your cannon.
Manziel scrambles out of trouble and got rid of it with the left hand. Leonard Williams doing the chase.
Well, he realizes here he's trying to turn his body and get rid of the ball, and it's in his best interest to get rid of that football as Leonard Williams, 92, pushing the pocket, but then with the speed to get to the outside, forced Johnny Manziel to throw that football away.
3rd and 5. Throwing far side, and that is complete for a first down to Andrew Hawkins.
Jets bringing pressure that time off the right slot. You'll see coming from this side, so this is where the coverage has to come from. It's deep. Manziel with good awareness of that. Recognizing that the off coverage coming from the safety position, that's a lot of ground for Gilchrist to cover. Brown's able to pick up the first down.
So the ball now out to the 32-yard line and a new set of downs for the Browns. And Johnny Manziel, the quick pass to this side, incomplete. Intended for Hawkins, and Marcus Williams with the hit. Marcus Williams had an interception earlier. Pulled his head to one side and hit him with the shoulder.
Well, it's a good clean hit. You'd just like to. Hawkins is going to have a little talk with Johnny either after this game or on the sideline and say, don't put those hitch routes up the field and don't put those hitch routes high up the field to where the DB can crack back into you like that.
This is Duke Johnson, and not much there for Johnson as the defense of the New York Jets gets a little tougher. Pick up a yard on the play, and it's 3rd and 9.
Well, Todd Bowles, his background is obviously defense. Last 2 years being defensive coordinator in Arizona, but Casey Rogers, defensive coordinator for the Jets, talked to us a little bit about his conversations that he has with Todd Bowles and his approach to defense. And they say it's a little bit different, but they enjoy those after practice every day, after games. They're continually analyzing situations and how they want to call it.
Casey Rogers said, I thought I was aggressive. Manziel out of the pocket. Dodges tacklers, has the first down and a lot more. And he's hit as he went across midfield. Loose ball.
He's going to be down.
And he's down at the 46-yard line. Buster Skrine, the ex-Cleveland Brown, applying the hit.
Well, and the thing you have to remember, when a quarterback begins his slide, he is giving himself up. So even though he takes this
Holding.
shot.
Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, third down.
Alex Mack's hold is going to bring this back.
There's Alex Mack right there. He's going to be the one called for the holding. You see he has the jersey extended.
That's a hold and a takedown. Oh, Manziel was looking left and the hit came from his right. 3rd and 18. Out of the pocket again. And this time, nowhere to go. Lost the football. Picked up by the Jets. Darrelle Revis. Revis with blocking inside the 10-yard line. And a late flag comes in. And we have a Jet down at the 28-yard line.
After the interception, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 20. 10-yard penalty from the end of the play. New York keeps the ball. First down.
So Marcus Williams, who has had a couple of outstanding plays, cost them yardage on this interception. Meanwhile, they are looking. It appears Lorenzo Malden, the rookie linebacker.
And Jerome Boger stated interception, but here on the fumble you can see Manziel trying to do too much, and sometimes you can get caught up on this. Watch Revis, though. He doesn't look to his right. He almost gets this ball stripped from Benjamin, who's coming trailing him from behind. Once again, Manziel just trying to do too much. You realize it's 3rd and 18. Got to get the ball out of your hands, especially with this swarming defense.
Here's Malden right here in the middle of your screen. And rolled onto his back and stayed there.
Malden's the one that actually knocks that ball loose.
Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, really scary moment for Lorenzo Malden. As the play went away from him, he was on the ground. He got up and he took 2 steps, and he went, not to make light of it, he took a face plant into the ground. I don't want to say he lost consciousness, but it looked like he had no control over his body. They just very carefully flipped him over, and the entire Jets sideline watched it unfold right in front of him.
Well, they will look after Lorenzo Malden, the rookie out of Louisville. We'll take a timeout.
Here's Lorenzo Malden. He's the injured player. He's the one that actually forces the fumble on Johnny Manziel. You see him, the side of his helmet hits the ground. It doesn't appear to be anything unusual as the pile rolls over on top of him. We've looked at this replay from a number of different angles, and once again, 55, he knocks the ball out. Side of his helmet hits the ground, gets twisted. The pile comes on top of him. We don't see anything unusual
to indicate the severity of what obviously took place.
You know, Jamie just reported that he actually got up and took a couple steps before he went back down. So it's hard to speculate at this point in time what it could be.
It appears right now they were stabilizing the head and neck area.
Both teams having to deal with a number of injuries today.
Lorenzo Malden, the Jets' third-round draft pick out of Louisville. So he will be taken off and given further medical attention. And everybody else will get back to the business of trying to play football. Yeah, we heard Jamie say that he made an effort to stand, took a couple of steps, and then went down again.
And here he is right here. I'll show you the same replay again, and just the pile rolls over on top of him.
Right 20!
We'll keep you updated. Meanwhile, from the 19, this is Chris Ivory. And Ivory for a couple to about the 16-yard line. And the clock moving with 12:40 to play in regulation. It's the third time today the Jets' drive has begun in Cleveland territory. And they've scored 2 touchdowns on their previous attempts.
It's hard to go on the road and turn the ball over 4 times and expect to come out with a win, which is what the Browns have done here today.
Second and 7. Ivory finds a hole in the middle, inside the 5 to about the 3. It'll be first and goal.
Ivory going right through the middle of the line of scrimmage. Whitner this time coming up high and trying to wrap him up. On the previous touchdown run that Ivory had, Whitner went low and just used his shoulder, and that didn't work out. So this time jumping up high and grabbing him, able to bring him down, but not after a big game.
Ivory 84 rushing yards on the day. First and goal, Jets. He's had 34 of those yards in the last couple of minutes. To about the 3. We are told that Lorenzo Malden has been taken to a hospital via ambulance. And again, we will continue to give you information as we get it. Second and goal.
You've got Marshall one-on-one down here with Hayden.
Instead, the give is to Ivory for the touchdown.
So even with the Browns defense committing 8 guys to the box and going man across on the 3 receivers, the Jets are able to run the football in as Ivory initially takes it in and bounces it to the outside.
New York Jets dead last in the NFL a season ago with points off takeaways. They've turned 4 turnovers into 21 points today, coming with this extra point. And it's good. 10:38 to play. Fourth quarter, 31-10, Jets.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company and the entirely new Lincoln MKX. FedEx, solutions that matter. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Back to a very happy full house here at MetLife Stadium. Told you the Jets were dead last in points off turnovers last year. They've done very well with it today. 31-10. And Sean Drone not going to run this one out of the end zone. So it'll be Manziel and the Browns offense from their own 20-yard line. Week 1 continues later today on CBS and on Fox, and then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for a Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN. I'd say so far, Trent, the Jets have accomplished what they wanted to. They wanted to come out and primarily run the football from the get-go, and they've done that.
They have done a nice job running the football, and they've mixed it in the pass. They find those 1-1 matchups, take advantage of it, and defensively they're shutting down the Browns' rushing attack. Josh McCown is still the leading rusher for the Browns.
Manziel over the middle finds his man across the 35. Close to the 40-yard line is Travis Benjamin.
The Browns are going now to an up-tempo no huddle. Down 3 scores with 10 minutes to go in the game.
Benjamin 3 for 89 and a touchdown today. Manziel, and that's Crowell out of the backfield.
The Browns rushing leaders today. Josh McCown's been out of the game since the first quarter with his concussion, and as you can see from that stat, he's still the leading rusher.
Manziel right up the middle. Midfield, sliding down at the 40 of the Jets for a first down.
And now the top 2 rushers are quarterbacks.
Never a good thing from the head coaching perspective.
Right.
Manziel, this sideline, incomplete. Brian Hartline fighting for the ball with Marcus Williams, who already has an interception in this game.
And what makes those throws so difficult is normally those throws, those back shoulder big receiver is what you think of type of throws. You know, for the Jets, you have Decker and Brandon Marshall. Owusu is a big receiver also, but you look across the board, Cleveland's receivers are more of the smaller, shiftier, good route runners, good speed, but not the big physical guy that's going to go up for a jump ball like that.
Manziel hit from behind, lost the football, covered by the Jets. Quentin Coples with the recovery after Trevor Riley applied the hit. The Cleveland turnovers continue.
And here it's Trevor Riley, the second-year player out of Utah, coming off the edge around Joe Thomas, the all-pro left tackle. This one's on Johnny Manziel. As things break down, you have to have a mental clock going that tells you when you need to get rid of the ball, especially a team like the Jets that pressures with their front 7. And Trevor Riley coming up with the big sack fumble. Jets getting the ball near midfield.
Celebrating the first of his career. Ivory in the backfield. Ivory gets the handoff. And right on that big gold shield at midfield, which will celebrate Super Bowl 50. Coming
Super Bowl
up February 7th.
Right here on CBS.
Doubleheader games coming your way shortly in Denver, Tampa, and Oakland. 2nd and 7. And this is Powell, and Powell going to lose yardage, courtesy of Carlos Dansby. Clock continues to move, 8:15 to play here in the 4th quarter. As I said, the NFL Today coming your way. The NFL Today update presented by FanDuel. Time permitting, with JB and the guys back in the studio in New York City for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. 3rd and 10. By the way, the 5 turnovers by the Browns, the most that they have turned it over since the 09 season. And Ryan Fitzpatrick just did not like the way that one was developing from the get-go.
Well, it's supposed to be a quick screen to the outside, and Dansby was there to prevent that completion from happening.
Yeah, we mentioned at the very top of the day that opening games not the strong point of the Cleveland Browns over the last 10 years. It looks like they're headed for number 11 unless there's a huge turnaround. Travis Benjamin going to let this one sail into the end zone for the touchback. With 7:35 to play in the fourth quarter, the New York Jets on a roll on opening day, 31-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Furious 7, One Crew, One Last Ride on Blu-ray and DVD September 15th. And by a Subway footlong. There's nothing bigger, nothing better. Subway, eat fresh.
Life is good if you're a Jets fan at the moment. The Cleveland Browns, a tough second half. An interception, a punt, and then 2 fumbles on 4 consecutive possessions. Manziel over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Hartline. We go down to Jamie.
Greg, a quick update on Lorenzo Malden, the rookie that was carted off the field on the stretcher. He was taken out of the tunnel, worked on for about 5 minutes. They put an IV in him and did load him into the ambulance and take him to a local hospital. His girlfriend is with him, and I will continue to ask for updates on his status.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Injuries have played a significant part, and the Cleveland Browns are going to have to put Josh McCown through the concussion protocol and see if he can return next week. That pass is complete to Taylor Gabriel. Browns go home to play the Tennessee Titans. Third and 2.
Well, that's why Cleveland can't be too worried about a 2-minute tempo here. I can see the no huddling going to an up tempo, but make sure they get some consistency, get some good snaps, get some first downs.
Dive for the ball doesn't work. Taylor Gabriel can't come up with it. And they'll go for it on 4th down. These are the big injuries that have happened today, Trent.
Josh McCown trying to dive for the end zone. Gets spun around and fumbles the ball. Cromartie at the top of your screen there. Buckles, left knee injury.
Fourth and 1. And Johnson, Duke Johnson in the backfield with Manziel, who will throw for it. Over the middle, and he's got his man across the 40, out to the 43 or 44-yard line. That's Gary Barnidge, the tight end.
Well, and moving forward, because of that concussion, you're right, Greg, they're going to have to go through the concussion protocol to figure out when Josh can be cleared or if he'll be cleared in time to play Tennessee next week. And no matter what the case, Johnny Manziel will get more practice time this week as the Titans game approaches.
Manziel avoids the rush, avoids a couple of tacklers, and slides down at about the 47-yard line. Well, in addition to McCown and Cromartie, Scott Solomon hurt an ankle early on. And as Jamie just told you, Lorenzo Malden put in an ambulance, taken to a hospital. 2nd and 6 as we come up on 6 minutes to play in the 4th. And this time there's no escape for Manziel. David Harris leading the charge for the Jet defense.
And Trevor Riley's coming off the edge as well, causing Manziel to step up in the pocket right to where Harris is waiting.
David Harris's numbers from a year ago. Manziel over the middle, found his man wide open, midfield, and into Jets territory is Andrew Hawkins. And again, another 4th down situation now, and we have a Jet down at the 40-yard line. That is David Harris. So the timeout stops the clock with 5:13 to play. Hey, while we have a moment, we extend our congratulations to one of the key members of our technical crew, videotape magician Levon Wright. Levon is going to be honored with the Doug Sellers Award next week for his outstanding work and contributions to his profession. And all of us on our crew and at CBS say it's very well deserved. Levon, congratulations. Trent, you and I will never get any such honor.
We will not.
No.
Browns going for another 4th down coming up here as Harris makes his way up the field. You see Harris is the one coming in here on the linebacker blitz. They had a hand inadvertently get up in his face mask area and get poked in the eye. That happens from time to time.
4th and 2. Manziel trying to keep it alive, throwing outside, and that is incomplete. Taylor Gabriel should have had it.
Well, and that's a case of just trying to do too much too soon. He hadn't secured the catch. He knew he was in one-on-one. I think he was starting to think of that second move once he got the ball. Maybe planting and spin back to the inside. Number one thing, though, you have to secure that football.
It has begun to rain here in East Rutherford. I'm betting Jamie knew that before any of us up here did.
You can see the people filing out now.
Bilal Powell in the backfield behind Fitzpatrick. And Fitzpatrick going to throw it to this side, incomplete.
That's a little shocking considering they've been running the football so consistently, knowing they have the lead and trying to use the clock. Hadn't thrown the football a lot.
Let's take a look at Johnny Manziel today, Trent.
Well, he's done some good things. He's struggled a little bit. Here's his first career touchdown pass to Benjamin down the left sideline over Cromartie. Then he has the interception on a stop throw. Then he's just going to have to learn that time clock goes off in his head. These last 2 plays are just hanging on to the football too long, trying to make something out of nothing. I realize they're down and he's trying to make a play, but there has to be that mental clock, and that'll come with more reps and more time.
Powell fights his way close to midfield. And the Cleveland Browns have now confirmed that, or the Jets rather, have confirmed that Lorenzo Malden suffered a head and neck injury and is in a local hospital. The Jets now with a 3rd and 9. I was pretty shocked by that first down pass by the Jets.
I was very shocked, especially since the skies just opened up and it started raining. They hadn't really been throwing the football since they secured this lead.
And had been running it well. Powell outside, diving, and did he get the first down? Looks like he did, right at the first down marker.
Diving for the first down and also keeping himself in bounds.
Clock continues to move. 3:40 to play. You know, I am often amazed at how quickly a stadium can empty.
Rather quickly. We got to give a lot of credit to this Jets offense, considering that first half. They only had the ball for about 10 minutes. Now the second half, they've really come out, established the run. Yes, the Browns have turned the ball over and given them good field position, but the offensive line has done a nice job of controlling things up front.
And you'd have to say that Chan Gailey accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He wanted to run the ball first, mix in the pass when he could, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has done it very effectively.
He has. He's managed everything very well, and you hate to quarterbacks a lot of time there's a picture of Chan Gailey right there, but quarterbacks, when you get that, he's a game manager. That's exactly what they want Ryan Fitzpatrick to be. They know they have a solid defense. They know they have a solid running game with the offensive line they have. Now they bring in Brandon Marshall. They want the passing game to be able to balance things out, and that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick has done today.
Powell outside, running room, inside the 20, spun down at the 15-yard line. Tremont Williams with the tackle. Todd Bowles following on the heels of Rex Ryan, Eric Mangini, Herm Edwards, Al Groh, Bill Parcells. He'll be on the top side of the 500 mark. And we come up to 2 minutes to play. 2 minutes. Todd Bowles 2 minutes away from a win as the Jets head coach. A reminder, your weekend begins here with Thursday Night Football on CBS and NFL Network. Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos taking on Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs right here on your home Super Bowl 50, CBS Sports. Rain continues to fall with 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. The Jets with 42 rushing yards in the first half, 108 here in the second half.
Well, as the Jets start to wrap this one up, they've got an extra day this week. They go to Indianapolis, face the Colts next Monday night. Colts are getting it handed to them up in Buffalo.
Did you call that? Did you say that that was going to happen?
I did. I had a little pick'em going on, and I just felt Buffalo's a tough place to play. I had a lot of problems over the years playing up in Buffalo, and a lot of other people do too, but as you can see, that schedule we just flashed up, the Jets have at Indianapolis, then back home against Philly, which will be an interesting matchup here in the Meadowlands.
2nd and 7. This is Bohannon, the fullback. And Bohannon spun down at the 10-yard line. And we come up on 1 minute to play. Brandon Marshall, newly arrived Brandon Marshall.
And it's really turned this thing around. Cleveland was controlling things with time of possession and stripping that out of the way. Tough catch over on the sideline and jump ball in the end zone, which he's good at doing. But Brandon Marshall, 6 catches, 62 yards, 1 touchdown. And the key play was ripping away that interception, getting the ball back to the Jets, who ultimately went in and scored.
Yeah, with the exception of that play, doing what he was brought in to do.
Exactly.
Todd Bowles has win number 1 under his belt. And the Jets win their 5th straight season opener. The Browns lose their NFL record 11th in a row. The retooled Jets defense did a decent job. People on both sides are going to want to look at the injury situation. But for now, it's the Jets 31, the Cleveland Browns 10. Coming up next, Baltimore against Denver, Tennessee against Tampa Bay, or Cincinnati against the Oakland Raiders. For Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl, and all of our CBS Sports crew here at MetLife Stadium, I'm Greg Gumbel. So long from the Meadowlands. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, the home of Super Bowl 50. Coming up, it's the NFL Today update presented by FanDuel, and it comes your way right after this.